This is IGN. The streaming hit still finds thrills and a strong, complex perspective in its long-awaited return. This is your IGN review of Squid Game Season 2 by Shannon Miller. If Season 1 of the masterful Korean thriller Squid Game introduced audiences to the capitalist hellscape that made its macabre elementary school field day for deeply indebted adults possible, Season 2 is seemingly meant to parse through the complexities of that cutthroat terrain. As we follow reluctant winner Seong Ji-hoon, played by Lee Jung-jae, back to the arena, we find an atmosphere charged not by lethal rounds of I Spy or hopscotch, but by interactions that muddle any prior notion of hero versus villain or right versus wrong. Expanded backstories and complicated motives ladder up to this season's harshest reality. As easy as it is to blame a faceless machine for everything that's wrong with the world, no machine can work without the cogs that keep it running. With a much leaner 7-episode run at his disposal, creator, writer, and director Hwang Dong-hyuk explores the layers of this universe with rich storytelling that doesn't simply take the cruelties and inequalities of this system to task. This time, he and Squid Games' talented cast dig into why any reasonable person would feed themselves to its gears in the first place. Still traumatized from the events of Season 1, burgeoning vigilante Ji-hoon refuses to disappear into a comfy life with his winnings. We learn that he's invested 3 years and his own cash into a private search for the game's magnetic recruiter, Gong-yu, initially convinced that ending him would end the games. We also learn the recruiter's unsettling backstory, which offers the grim perspective of someone wholly blinded by his allegiance to these games, and a deeply flawed, oversimplified pick-yourself-up-by-your-bootstraps mentality. This mainly gives Gong-yu the space to be less stoic and more of a terrifying arbiter of corporate injustice, delivering an absolutely rattling performance in the process. Not only does he make a worthy adversary for Lee's more grounded but equally intense Ji-hoon, he's also a conduit for some of the season's most creative moments of tension and breathtaking cinematography. The recruiter's story makes up most of the first episode, a departure from how quickly Season 1 got to the games, but this isn't cause for alarm. Despite taking place entirely in the outside world, the first 2 episodes are so loaded with anxiety-inducing pressure points that even a game of rock, paper, scissors in a darkened building can become nightmare fuel. Yes, the games are an obvious centerpiece, but this thoughtful, more leisurely journey to them proves that Squid Games' biggest draw is its world building. There are new games and the return of one daunting bloodfest, but truthfully, they all take a back seat to a new, unnerving wrinkle: democracy. Voting played a small role in Season 1, but each one of Season 2's games is punctuated by a chance for the surviving players to end it all with a majority vote, walking away with an even share of the prize money. Of course, as the body count grows, so does the size of those shares. Here, Hwang best blurs the lines between us versus them, which are no longer restricted to the players and their overseers. It also means roles are constantly adjusting. While the players may not have guns, they're armed with their own personal motives like costly healthcare or combating serious addictions, strategic stories, and a vote that dictates everyone's chances at survival. It's a game within the game, and it provides the chance for everyone to indulge their killer instinct, even those who seem to mean well. Following a U.S. election cycle when voting for self-preservation versus the greater good was the hottest of hot-button topics, this development is almost uncomfortably timely. But it also cleverly illustrates how the games can sow division, how tough choices can swiftly adjust our perception of other people, and how, in some cases, you don't need masked gunmen to make a space feel incredibly dangerous. Before, it was much easier to tell when the games were in session. Now, not so much. Squid Game trusts us to navigate this more nuanced story, and it's rewarding. As we watch this heightened depiction of the economic and political forces that dictate our everyday lives, we're challenged to pinpoint how we'd actually fit in such a thorny universe. Squid Game finds its second win by exploring a complex layer of a deadly system. Storytelling continues to be the series' strongest asset, and a leaner season helps to focus energy on a more nuanced approach to this expanding fictional universe. Season 2's framework is a natural breeding ground for new characters and deeper backstories. Most importantly, these 7 episodes continue to be a cleverly gripping reflection of the world around us, one with plenty left to say. Squid Game Season 2's IGN score? 8. Thanks for listening to IGN. My name is Tony Jackson, and for the latest Squid Game updates, visit us at IGN.com.
Spoken Layer.